see it, say it, believe it, yeah. See it, say it, believe it, yeah. See it, say it, believe it, yeah.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in. We are Tristin and Michael, and you're listening to Fuse, transparent conversations from marriage, family, and relationships. We invite you to join us as we discuss perspectives that are thought about but not talked about. So tell your friends and family to check us out and connect with us on all your social media platforms at Fused Marriages, and join the conversation by emailing us info@fusedmarriages.com. All right, Michael, so what are we getting into today?
All right, welcome back, everybody. Today's a new day.
It's a new day.
New topic.
Okay.
Got something interesting to talk about today.
What's going on?
Technology and love.
Computer love.
Come on with it. Yeah.
You know, that song was before its time.
It really was. You know what? It was a different time back then, too.
Yeah.
I think they came out, in the mid-'80s, early 80s?
I'm going to go with you.
You going to go with me on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'm
can win
the
battle.
music mind in this joint.
I don't know dates.
Yeah. That's somewhere. It was in the 80s. In the 80s. So, like, you know, back in, like, you know, even going back before the 80s and the 70s, what they do. Had to write, like, letters or go see them.
I still really like letters. I love letters and cards and all that.
Yeah. Technology was just different, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had to either write a letter, had a payphone. You could probably call somebody.
Oh, yeah, I did. I used
At the
to.
party line, you know, remember that, you know what I mean? That's the only way to really get caught up in a situation. If you know you was on a party line, you know, the party line is basically you would call, and then you would call your boo, and then on the other end, you would hear somebody else talking potentially. It'd be somebody down the street. Some of y'all, they don't know about no party line.
I don't know about a party line. We didn't
They
have
don't know
We had regulations on our phone. It was like you had to call the house, and then my parents, one of them would pick up and ask who you were, and be like, and they would decide if you could talk.
Yeah.
So I remember trying to hide, like, you know, you hear the click.
Oh yeah, that was a bad situation there.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to hang up and like, hold on, nobody on the phone. Or see, before even the click, you had, you know what, there was no call waiting. You had that busy tone.
I remember that.
If you were calling somebody, or you on the phone with somebody picked the other line up. Like, boy, who you talking to?
Yep, that happened.
Nobody, mama. Click.
You try to click, but both of you actually have to click.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be on the phone like, you know, you saying something, you know, you ain't supposed to be saying. Be like, hold on, get caught up in a situation with mama and daddy. That wouldn't be good.
Oh, yeah.
That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, mom and dad had their own thing.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. That was like, you know, some previous generations, you know what I mean? So technology kind of has like progressed, right, from the party line to just the dial tone to the call waiting, you know what I mean? So now we got like, you know, cell phones and all this other stuff that really people are really, you know, integrating with technology in their relationships.
Yeah, true. There's a lot of things that can happen and go wrong, and how technology works. So here's a question. All right. So let's talk about cell phones a little bit.
All right.
Because you're talking about all the phone lines. Is it okay to look at your spouse's phone?
I think it's okay to look at your spouse's phone, I guess, with the intent of, you know what, I'm looking at it. Maybe I lost my phone, or I need to get the time off of it, or I need to get, you know, check the weather out, and their phone is right there and convenient. Me looking at it from that perspective of grabbing it and looking at it, I'm okay with that. Most
people would be okay with that. But it's like when people, what do you think about when people lock their phones, or you don't have access to the information in your spouse's phone?
I think a spouse should have access to their spouse's phone. I don't think a phone should be locked to the standpoint where, you know what, only that person can open it or access it. It just creates an environment of like, okay, what's hiding behind there? Even if there's nothing, it's still that thought is there. Like, why are they locking their phone? Like, okay, I understand you don't want the kids in it, you don't want anybody else in it, but like, you don't want me in it?
Like you're hiding something.
Yeah, it just to me, it plants that seed of like just a doubt, and like you're saying, the doubt may not come at first, right? Everything may be good, and you know, everything going smoothly. But whenever we have a situation where we know we're in a disagreement, and all of a sudden you leave or you grab your phone, or all of a sudden now I can't look at it, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Who you texting? Who you calling? Who you know what I mean? What's behind that?
So when does that actually start? Because you said spouses. So
yeah,
it's after you get married, or is it when you're engaged, or when you're dating? Like, at what point would you be okay walking in and seeing, you know, your man or your woman on the phone?
I think, you know what I mean, initially, of course, I don't think, you know, you would necessarily have two people kind of sharing their phone access like that when you first start a relationship. So it may take 2, 3, 4, 5 months even to kind of like really build that kind of
2 months they go.
Well, it depends how, you know, the speed of relationships. So I got to put that window on there. Some people kind of move fast, some people move slower. So I don't think there's no guideline on necessarily time. I was just giving us the reference point. But when you get to the point where you're talking about, hey, we're exclusive, right? You got to start having those conversations, or at least kind of like inquiring, like, hey, you know, how we want to handle, you know, the phone situation, the technology aspect of it. And the phone is really just a small piece of technology, but like that's a big piece, right? Because we all have phones. Pretty much everybody has a cell phone. Nobody has a landline anymore too much, but they have a cell phone. And that's really their primary communication between each other. And to me, it's all about the trust aspect of it. If I'm trying to build trust, then why I'm not going to allow you, you know, to kind of have access to it. And that may take time, but I may have some lingering stuff I got to deal with first. That's why I can't let you look at it. That's just real. You know what I mean?
Get out of that.
It's like, you know, I had a life before you. Some people still ain't just fell off the, you know,
they need
off
to
the wall just because I started talking to you or we got serious.
Yeah.
They still have my number. So let's I change my number, this, that, and the other. Then, you know what? It may take some time for that to
be
kind of
extreme to have to change your number. Like,
it happens.
Okay.
Some people are forced to, right? Because some people are real persistent in really how they reach out to that person, even though they try to cut them off. If you don't change your number,
how hard you're trying. I mean, it's a phone. You can block the person.
You can. That's right. That's true. Good point.
You don't have to change your number. It's like, oh, like what are you into that you have to change your number? Maybe.
Good point.
That's just my perspective. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all I change my number every couple of years. I know people like that.
What about giving access to your phone? Like, have you in your relationship, even prior to us, did anybody have access to your phone prior to you being married, relationship, serious relationship, dating?
No.
And why was that?
For what?
I mean,
you know, like why you need to go through my phone?
He said,
no.
Was it that you were hiding something? You was like, oh, you didn't feel comfortable? I mean, help me understand. Both? You're like, I don't know you like that.
Yeah, no.
I don't trust you like that.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, you have to be at a certain depth of relationship and a certain future that we're going towards. So it wasn't necessarily that I was hiding anything, but I didn't trust you like that. Like you have no reason. There's nothing in my phone that's for you, you know? So no, you can't go in my phone. And then when you're married, then it's okay. Yeah. Cause there's nothing in there that isn't for you. There's nothing that you don't have access to. So
is there a transition then? You said you went from like kind of dating to married, like.
Oh yeah.
So the transition of like when should that happen though? Like, you know what I mean? Is it when you engage? Is it when you're serious? What are you thinking?
I think it happened like when I knew I'm gonna be married to this person, because it's still kind of a weird thing. Like if I have my phone and you were just going through it, like there's nothing in there that you don't have access to, but it's like, you have your phone, but it doesn't bother me. It's not like I would be like, oh, what are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for, you know, hey, we took a picture and I'm trying to send it over. I'm like, oh, okay. It's not a big deal, but it's just something, because that's something that's still like almost now an extension of who you are and what you have, because you have your notes in there, you have your pictures in there, you have, you know, things that you've bookmarked. If you listen to your books on tape, you have those in there or whatever. So I just think it's like more of a ownership thing. Like, okay, you have your thing and I have my thing, but it doesn't mean that we can't switch. But prior to being married, you have your thing and I have my thing. There's no reason. I don't want anything in your phone and you don't want anything in my phone. But I must say that before getting married, if somebody had a phone that was like texting in secret or something, if I felt suspicious, then I'd be like, no. But then that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going through your phone. It means like, okay, it's not going to work because I'm already not trusting you. And that's just with the phone. So I took it as a sign.
But couldn't you work through that though, potentially? I mean, if it's worth working through, saying, okay, you texting in secret, it appears that way anyway. But like, wouldn't it at least work like a conversation? Like, hey, you know, what's up? You know what I mean? I see you texting, you
I'm
get
sure
a
it
phone
would have
call.
been, but things might be different between you and I now, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I think sometimes you could have those dialogues. For myself, trust doesn't come easy. So, and I think for a lot of people out there, trust is not necessarily just like a free thing that we like, you know, give away to everybody. So if I have a feeling personally that you're not necessarily trustworthy, then the phone texting thing just lets me know, like, that's like the final sign. Like, okay, I already know I can't trust you. So I don't know that the locking of the phone should be necessary or even standard practice in marriage. I think that that's too much. If you feel like you have to lock your phone from your spouse, they don't know the passcode to your phone or to your computer, or they can't pick up your phone if they want to, then but if they see the other side of this, if they feel they need to, then there's a problem. If they feel they need to go through your phone,
right,
or they need to like check on your text messages through the day or week or whatever.
But why would a person or spouse need to? You know what I mean? Like, if you get to the point where you need to, then you got some other like
That's
underlying stuff.
Yeah,
that's
there
going
might
on.
be some other like if there's been infidelity in the relationship, or if there is a fear of infidelity. There hasn't been, but they're not all in. Then you have some things that you have to talk about. You know.
But like, how long does like a person's fear should like navigate the relationship?
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, you fearful. I haven't done anything, but you feel the need to kind of like check up on a brother. You know what I mean? So like now I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm not like, I ain't doing, I'm going to work, playing ball with the boys. Just, I'm doing the normal stuff. And like, I still don't have no like space to kind of like, hey, just be normal. I got to like make sure,
normal
you
is a relative term.
Yeah, true.
And I think that maybe if that fear has been expressed or observed, like, okay, you're going through my phone, I'm going through your phone, or whatever the conversation is, then hey, let's explore that, because obviously there's either an underlying insecurity or fear that with discussion and with understanding and compassion that I think you can overcome that, where it's not as big a deal. But and then sometimes it's just, hey, I've seen everything on my phone. What you looking at? Oh, you're looking at your, oh, okay. Yeah, it might be just a mute point. It really, really can be. But we'd like to hear from y'all on that. So how do you feel about your partner going through your phone? At what point should they be allowed, or do you give passcodes, and allowed in air quotes, to go through your phone? Hit us up, info@fusedmarriages.com, or again on any of our social media platforms @fusedmarriages. So I'm just curious. So we kind of talked about the phone. What about emails? I know it's a little bit different, but emails you can get pretty deep in some emails. Like, can your spouse read your emails just because? No real reason, just kind of going through, seeing what you talked about.
Right. So I mean, similar to the phone, the email aspect of it is like, now hold on. The one thing about emails is a little different. I'm gonna tell you why it's different. Okay. I'm gonna tell you why I think it's different. Yeah. Just ever so slight, something to think about.
Ever so slightly. Let's hear it.
Ever so slightly. You gotta put the qualifier on that real quick. So like with emails, like you do have some information in there that could be pertaining to like some history, right? Some emails can go back. The email been around for a long time. They can go back 10, 15, 20 years. So we talking about like new emails. We talking about old emails.
Let's talk about both of them. What do you mean? Talk to me.
So like new emails, it's like, somebody, okay, you want checks when I'm emailing, this, that, and the other. I got bills and, maybe emailing, something about personal, this, that, and the other, about my ball team, this, that, and the other. That's probably cool. But let's say, I got some emails in there, what, unless you go back and you kind of archive, and nobody really does that, right? Kind of like, I'm going to archive my old email. Man, come on, I ain't never met that person.
Okay, well.
Y'all might be out there. Y'all might be out there. Somebody might be organized like that.
If you archive, let us know.
Some people got so many emails in their inbox.
That's me.
They like, you know what? They got 1,000 unread emails. Like, come on, man. Let's just get rid of the email account.
No, because I still use it.
You ain't reading them, though.
But I'm not reading those 1,000. I'm still reading other ones.
So y'all be picking and choosing. That's how it works?
Yeah.
So you
I
never
get a lot of emails.
Okay. So like, okay.
I might get more after this. So go on.
So email is a good communication tool, but it can get you in trouble, especially if you're talking about going back, say 5 years before you met that person. And you got an email that's stuck in there from an old boo that you forgot about or didn't know about. And you be like, oh, I forgot. And really, honestly, most people don't think about every single email that they would get over the last 10 years.
That's true.
So like, in that case, it's like you got to be some leeway saying, okay, you know what? Hey, you can have access to my email. But if you start digging, you might find some stuff that I don't even know about.
You need to find it. You need to find it before they start digging.
Wow, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Don't nobody want to like say, I'm going to look at your email, and they might not find anything recent, but they find emails of you talking to somebody else. That needs to be deleted.
It should be, if it's found, it should be, I agree with that.
But they need
But
to
like
know,
how
like,
you go back, you know what I mean? Like who has the time to kind of say, okay, I'm gonna go back and look at every single.
but you can put
email.
a name in the search and be like, okay,
They
he
might
and
be
I
using
used to, or
alias
he
or
and I
something.
used to email back and forth. Let me put this name in. Huh?
They might be using alias or something. You know what I mean? You might not. It might even be using their real
Alias.
name.
Well, you know how many aliases
You know what I mean?
you've had.
Because MySpace has been around. You know what I mean? People weren't using their real names back.
MySpace.
Black
Come
Planet.
on.
Y'all know
Black
what I'm talking
Planet.
about. Some of y'all done been on that. Y'all already know.
Well, you need to delete that account. If you still using MySpace, delete. Control, Alt, delete. That needs to be done.
Right.
Yeah, you don't need to have, I don't think, any of that. And that actually brings me to an interesting conversation is social media. So we use social media around here. You're always welcome to hit us up on at Fused Marriages. But social media can get you in trouble. You know, like there are some things. If you still have some secret accounts or you used a dating app or something and connected with your spouse, there are some great things that can come out of that. I know people that have gotten married. They met on, one of the dating platforms. I don't see a problem with that. If you find love on that, great.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But once you find love,
Match.com.
delete that account. See, you doing promos.
Christian Mingle. I'm
There
just saying people be finding
There are
love
a
on
lot
those.
of them.
I just seen the commercials. That's all.
Yeah, there's a lot of commercials. And because I think people are looking for connection and they're looking for love. And now with technology, there are so many ways that you can meet people. And so many, I think, great ways that you can meet people out there. And I think there are, I just call them like, there are scoundrels everywhere. You find them online. You'll find them at the church. You'll find them at the club. You'll find them at work. So you just have to be, aware. But the social media platforms, when you get into your relationship, you need to delete that account. You don't need to keep it open just because, that's
fair.
The modern
That's
day
fair.
little black book. You don't need to have it. So
That's fair. I agree
on
with
that, what do you think about people liking or hearting or whatever people's pictures and all that? How does that work?
I don't think there's an issue with liking a picture. Of course, it all depends what kind of picture we're talking about, right?
Okay.
A picture that, you know what I mean, that's pretty much a normal, say nobody ain't no bathing suit, ain't nothing revealing, you know what I mean? And that can be, that can be a variation of what that looks like, but depends on who you're talking to as well. But in generally speaking, it's like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna try not to like a picture that's gonna be like, okay, hold on, like, why is he liking that? Ain't he married? I don't want nobody even thinking like I'm,
You're talking about provocative pictures?
even provocative, but some can be like, they get real creative in social media nowadays. They kind of like halfway provocative, you know what I mean? They not like all the way kind of like out there like that, but it's like a little, they get their little sexy look, you know what I mean? On their little picture.
You just do the
they
sexy
put them
look?
filters on. Yeah, a little sexy look. I lean to the side. Y'all can't see it right now, but I lean to the side. Sexy look.
That's not, we don't have to work on that sexy look. We can work on that one.
Oh, boy, that's funny.
I don't know if I think they need to see you. I don't feel comfortable if you were liking somebody's pictures and it's just them in the picture. Then why you? And it's we're talking about opposite sex right now. So, well, I mean, would you feel comfortable if I'm over here, liking friends that their workout photos and all of that stuff? Well, I'm like, oh, they're my friend and we cool and we work out.
That's true. I mean, that's one thing I don't like workout photos. I never really understood why somebody be in a mirror at a gym and take a picture of themselves so everybody can like. I never really get that really.
Well, it also depends if you're in that industry.
So,
I know a lot of people in the fitness industry, and that's kind of like that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do. I don't do that. So I mean, so like for me, I ain't. If somebody's liking, I'm like, I would question that because it's not something. I don't really understand the concept
Lord,
of like
the athletes out there going
self-promoting like that. I don't.
Yeah, but that it could be work. It could be self-promotion. If you are a trainer and you do fitness shows, then that might help you get clients, or that's what you're passionate about. I don't see a problem with that. There are people that take pictures of food. They enjoy food. They like food. They cook, or they go to nice restaurants, or those.
Just
kind
a
of
Michael
things.
thing. Ain't nothing wrong. I mean, I'm not knocking it. Just I don't understand it. That's all.
Well, I would not have a problem with you taking pictures of food and all that. But once you start taking pictures or liking people's stuff that they dress. Actually, I don't even know if they would have to be dressed like anything. And people say, "Oh, that's insecure. Why can't they?" But I do know people that share like accounts. Like it'd be like
I've seen that.
him and her.
I've
They'll
seen
have
that.
one
I got
account.
some friends on my on my Facebook that's like.
What do you think about that? Do you think that that's like insecure? Do you think that that's safe?
I think that's a special thing that they, you know what, haven't talked to these individuals or why they did that, but I think that's a real unique kind of bond. I'm looking at it on the positive side of, hey, you know what, we won. And that's and one way to show that we won, we use the same social media account. You know what I mean? It has his name and her name, you know, her name and his name, however they have it titled on there. So I would hate to take the negative and saying, okay, one person insecure versus another, but I would say, you know what, hey, this is how they kind of presented themselves to the world.
I don't see any problem with it. And a lot of times there's one person that's more social media savvy or that are on it more than the other. So they might keep people updated. And I don't see any problem with doing that. But you just can't be cruising, looking at like old exes and stuff. What do you think about keeping like your ex on your social media?
Man, that's trouble. That's
Really?
trouble because it's like, even let's say, you know what, there's been no communication, you know, for like even years and years and years, but like they know you. They can just inbox you or do something, you know what I mean? IM you and kind of be like, hey, what's up? And all of a sudden, you know, now you're in like a situation.
Well, how is that any different than email?
It's probably not, but I don't think about email. We were talking about just the history, right? The email, somebody can email you too, but if you have access to my email, do you have access to my social media account?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean, you know, should it be, you know, I shouldn't be blocking you. You know what I mean? You can see, I post and you don't see nothing I post. Right. My
private Instagram.
You block me, don't even know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, there was a situation on one of my shows.
Oh, Lord.
Little Mo.
Yeah.
Remember the singer?
Mm-hmm.
She was dating this boxer. I can't think of his name, but she told him to like stop using his social media. Mm-hmm. And I guess he had some people kind of connecting with him, this, that, and the other from his past. So he ended up killing it, right? He said kill the social media account. But then like a couple months later, he created another one under another name.
And didn't tell her?
Hey, that happens like that. I was like, man, and then she found out about it. And he had to be like, he was asking forgiveness and that and the other. Like, well, I just wanted to have, you know, he was saying he was trying to promote himself as a boxer. You know what I mean? In order to like really, you know, I mean,
he's a boxer. He didn't think that she was going to find out.
Yeah, I know. He wasn't thinking.
He wasn't thinking with the wrong head. He wasn't thinking. That's what they say.
So yeah, so I mean, in that case, like Little Mo, I think she had a good reason. She like, you know what, you have too many people kind of reaching out to you and connected to you.
She's talking about women, right?
He had women, reaching out to him and connect to him. And he had to probably like just cut it off and say, hey, either we're gonna get one account or we're gonna have to close these accounts out. Mm-hmm. So those cases, I mean, it's a case by case basis. In that case, I think, yeah, you gotta like, you know what, it can't be no exes on your social media. And if there is an ex, man, you better figure out, I don't know, you better block them or figure out how to, you know, if you want to keep that same account and then kind of control that, because you don't want nothing to come out of that. You know what I mean? I
know some people I've actually heard they will keep their exes so that they can see how happy they are.
Man, like that's a lot. Come on, man. And y'all believe that? You believe that?
I mean, I don't.
I heard somebody told me that too.
They keep their exes on there.
Well, it was with a cell phone. She said, I was dating this girl and she's like, yeah, I got all my exes in my phone. I said, why you got your exes in the phone? She said, I want to know when they call me so I recognize their name. Man, come on, man. Get out of here with that.
See, so she kept her exes in her phone.
Yeah.
So that they could call her and she would know that it was them.
Right. When the number came up, like their name would come up, so she'd know not to answer it. I had a hard time believing that. She might have been truthful. I don't know. I had a hard time, like, it didn't make sense to me. I was struggling with that, but the same principle, I guess, is with the social media. I keep my ex so I can see.
I heard a pastor say one time, I can't remember exactly when, but I heard a pastor say whenever, you know, a relationship is toxic and you break up and you separate and you keep going, don't delete their name and number. Keep it in the phone, except you change their name to Death. So every time they call, you see Death pop up on your phone so you know not to answer. Because if it's the name, you might be tempted.
You might be.
So I need to remember who said that, but I just remember that quote. So thank you, whatever pastor out there said that. So change their name to Death so you know, hey, don't answer so you won't be tempted. Don't be tempted to answer that phone.
I like that.
All right. Well, I also wonder about commenting on people's photos. Would you comment on somebody's photo? So we talked about kind of like, oh, I'm just putting a smiley face or I'm just liking it, or putting thumbs up, whatever. What about writing a little message?
I mean, that's all social media is about, right? It's about, either liking or putting a comment. I think your comments have to be done in taste, right? You shouldn't say nothing you wouldn't say in front of your significant other. Mm-hmm. So if I say, you know what, it's a nice picture. Hey, you know what? Nice picture, good scenery, this, that, and the other, and go about your business. Now, if there's like a trend or a history kind of like of tracking, like, hey, hold on, man, you saying a whole lot, and maybe a whole lot too often. And it's not that you would necessarily, have an issue with it or get a concern about it, but that person may start perceiving that in a way like, hey, maybe they digging me a little bit. They show liking my stuff. Maybe they following me.
Be careful because, it's all based on algorithms. So if you start liking or commenting,
then you
that
coding
person,
now? You about to code? Go ahead. Talk to us. Get
Whatever.
deep with us, girl. Algorithm.
So
I like that. Come on.
So it starts coming up more. So you can end up commenting on one person's more than you actually would think just because they're coming up in your feed more regularly.
Right.
So I think, beware.
Man,
and
Facebook
I wouldn't
is trying to
comment
trick
on
us.
anybody. What'd you say?
I said Facebook is trying to trick us into
No,
slipping up.
No.
That's what you telling me?
No, I'm
you
saying
said algorithm. Instagram is coming
yourself
up automatically from. Hold on. No, hold on.
See, but that's
It's
why you
the
can't
devil.
start.
It's the devil made me did it. Y'all trying to say it's me? No. It's like,
I think you got to be careful, man. Be careful.
Right. Go ahead.
Because you can end up really causing a rift in your relationship because of absent-mindedness or just pushing a like or a heart and saying, what, it's not a big deal. You have to know what your partner feels about that. And I wouldn't personally recommend, and y'all holler at me if y'all disagree or if you agree, I wouldn't personally recommend liking somebody of the opposite sex that your partner doesn't know something about. Be like, who is this person? Oh, I see she's commenting on your stuff. He's commenting on your stuff. What's the deal? So if they're not like a family friend or somebody like, oh man, this is a person, they maybe you met or something like that. I just think it can get into some dangerous territory because then people can start DMing you, and that can become a whole nother world that you're opening yourself up to.
But to me, the social media thing is some people got 1,000 followers, so they got to regulate. Yeah, I'm just saying, that's the norm, right? So to regulate that in that aspect, it's that's hard to do.
What do you mean regulate?
I mean regulate an aspect of what they're commenting on your feed or your pictures. But you can regulate saying, okay, what you respond back and what you respond to.
You can't control what other people, you can delete comments if you don't take that much time and energy, depending on how many comments you get on a specific picture or story or, Insta story, any of that stuff. I think that it's really, how are you opening up your relationship? Because those walls have to be solid. Hey, I'm a public figure, or I'm in this company, or I was really involved when I was in high school or college or after college or whatever. You can be part of many different spheres. Right. And I think that the more people that have access to you, the more secure your relationship has to be. And that's done behind the wall. So you have to make that, hey, it's us. There's going to be a lot of people that have a lot of stuff to say. They might think, oh, well, why is she wearing that? And they're going to comment on that. Or why is he with her? And they're going to comment on that. So I think, and you can have people on your social media that obviously you don't know, that could be saying any number of things. And there are cyber bullies out there, and there are people that, oh, you looking good in that suit, sending you something. I'll be like, who is that? I don't know. So I think it's just making sure that behind the wall of the relationship, y'all are good. Y'all have y'all's boundaries. Y'all know what you're doing. There should be access, easy flow of information between the two of you so that there's no reason for insecurity.
Yeah.
But what y'all think out there? We always want to hear from you, and we thank you for joining us today. Make sure that you connect with us on our Facebook and on our Instagram. But we want to hear from you, so make sure that you contact us. But thank you for joining us. Make sure you connect with us on our social media platforms at Fused Marriages. Check out our website for more content and resources, fusedmarriages.com. Let's talk about it.
You're listening to Fused with Tristin and Michael.